maybe you show us how Black people love. Welcome to Baldwin Dialogues with Jerry Craft and Kwame Alexander.
There you go.
All right, carry on.
Oh yeah. So I thought back to they talk about behind every overnight success is 30 years of hard work.
Right.
And I don't know of any two people that put that 30 years of hard work in more than us.
37.
Yeah. Because I self-published my first book in 1997, and it was a book of my comic strips because I got the nastiest rejection letters. And I was like, there's no way in the world I will ever get published. So I went to the library, got a book on how to self-publish, and then started doing my own books.
I knew that my poetry was amazing. Like I thought I knew.
Right.
This was 1993.
Okay.
And I got rejection letters from not just publishers, but from Black magazines, Black literary magazines, like Callaloo and the African American Review. And I just didn't understand it.
Yeah.
And I happened to grow up in a house with a father who was a book publisher. So while I was disappointed, I had a backup plan. I had a plan B. And that was I was going to publish my own books,
right,
since no one else would. And when I was growing up, I had numerous jobs in my house. One was to cut the grass.
Mm-hmm.
Another was to take the leaves out of the gutters on the roof. And the one I enjoyed was to clean up the garage every Saturday. Our garage was the library.
Oh, okay. I was wondering where you go with that.
Yeah, there were milk crates on the walls, and in
yeah.
the milk crates were books spine out.
Okay.
But on the floor was trash that somehow accumulated during the week. So instead of cleaning up the trash, I would go look at the spines of the books. And I remember finding this series of books called the First Poet series that was published by Third World Press in 1967, 68, 69, 70. And the poets were Sonia Sanchez, Amiri Baraka, and so forth and so on. And I used to read these really thin volumes. And so when I decided to publish my own poetry, Jerry, I said, I'm going to create a series of poetry books and not just publish me, but publish other poets. And I called it the Black Words Poetry Series. And it was based on the First Poet series.
So now you had two things. And you're how old?
I'm 56.
No, back then.
How old am I now or back then?
Back then. When
you got to be specific. See, you're an illustrator. You're taking pictures.
In the past, so I'm going in the past, in this story that you're telling, how old were you?
When I decided to publish this series of books?
Yes.
I was 23.
Okay, so you always had that entrepreneurial spirit. Now, as a young kid, did you make up kid rhymes? Like, were you always making up, nothing is deep?
Right.
Not haikus and stuff. I mean,
right.
It's just a regular.
Well, actually, it's haiku.
Haiku, okay.
The plural of haiku is haiku.
Haiku, okay.
Yeah.
Not haiku.
Not haikus.
Not haiku, okay. Got it.
That's a good question, Jerry. Did I make up rhymes? Batman, Superman had a fight. Batman hit him with some kryptonite. The kryptonite must have shocked his brain because now he thinks he's Lois Lane. So yeah, I did. I made up. I thought I could rap.
So where was rap and hip hop at that time in your life?
This was 76, 77.
Okay.
So it was right at the beginning. This was Rapper's Delight.
So did you lose your mind?
I lost my mind.
Yeah, everybody did.
My friend, I lived in Brooklyn.
Oh, okay.
So
right.
Yeah. So I'm in Brooklyn and my friends got 2 Gemini turntables. So we're in the basement creating like the next big thing. And so you grew up in the Bronx.
In Washington Heights.
Washington Heights.
Right across the Hudson River so I used to be able to see Yankee Stadium from the roof of my building. And rap to me was going 4 blocks up to the Sand Park. And they used to open up the base of the street lamps to plug in their turntables.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I would just sit back and be like, wow. And then when I heard Rapper's Delight,
yep.
There was one, Rapazudi in Blue. I don't know who did that. And then like you would listen to the radio the first time that they would come on, and it was like, you know, you'd have the cassette tape, and I'd be like record them so I could listen to them.
Yeah. Grandmaster Flash,
Yeah.
Curtis Blow,
Yeah.
Spoonie G,
Big Daddy Kane.
Big Daddy Kane.
Yeah.
But Jerry, so we both grew up in this hip hop era. How did that music, how did those, you know, parties, how did that influence you as an artist, or did it? I mean, it had to.
Oh, it definitely did. Because my comic strip, Mama's Boys, was about two teenage boys, and they were brothers.
Okay.
So one, Yusuf, wore the throwback jersey. He had the high top fade. He had his pants sagging a little bit. And then his brother, Tyrell, was a little bit more laid back and not nearly as cool. And then as I self-published my book, I used to go around to different bookstores. And I remember going to one in Brooklyn that was Incuro Books.
Incuro Books.
Yep.
That's right.
And there were two young kids behind the desk. And they used to always tell me what to read because I wasn't a reader as a kid. So I'm trying to catch up on stuff. So I go in and it's like, hey man, you got to read this, A Lesson Before Dying. And they tell me about it and I would take it home and read it. So it's almost like our own personal book club.
Sure.
And one of the cats is always, you know, he had his music that he was doing. So yeah, he wants to be a rapper. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. You know, good luck, young fella. You know, one of those, you know, you feel like the Uncle Jerry, good luck. And then years later, I bumped into the other guy, Aaron, who has like a gallery in Brooklyn. And he's like, I was like, yo, what happened to that other kid? He's like, oh, you mean Talib Kweli? I was like, that's who that was?
From Black Star.
Yeah. I'm like, that's who that was?
Because his mom owned the bookstore.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It wasn't first. I think after she sold it, I think he bought it and tried to
got
it back. But originally, he was just 9 to 5 behind the counter.
Yeah, this intersection of hip hop and literature is so prevalent. So if you saw Talib selling books at Incuro Books, my father had about 10 different jobs.
Okay.
He was a Baptist minister.
Okay.
He was a book publisher.
Okay.
He was a barber.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He was a college professor. He was a writer. It just goes on and on.
Right.
But what I remember him being a book publisher primarily because when he would go sell books at trade shows, I was with him. I was selling books with him. I was the one standing behind the table selling the books.
Okay.
And so I remember at one conference, KRS-One came up to the table to buy some of our books. And my dad published books about ancient Egypt, published books about Black history, about Adam Clayton Powell, Elijah Muhammad, Black empowerment, upliftment.
Right.
So KRS-One came by and just bought books. And when I sold books, because I'm like 14 at this point, 15, my dad lets me keep 10%.
Oh, okay.
So KRS comes up and he's stacking books. He's got like 8, 9 books he's buying. And in my mind, I'm computing, I'm about to make $37.95.
Nice.
And he buys these books and we start talking because he's very culturally conscious.
Right.
Always been. Listen to his music.
Right.
And he starts buying all these books and we start talking. And before you know it, he's like, man, y'all got a publishing company. I'm writing a book. And so he and I begin to sort of make these plans for my dad's company to publish his book.
Wow.
And I'm thinking this is going to be the book that's going to blow my father's company up.
Right.
And over the course of the next 6 months, it never happened. But it was an interesting sort of, sort of meeting of, again, this hip hop and literature and what it means.
So many similar stories.
Right?
Every time you tell a story, I have one that happened with me. Mine was with Chuck D.
Oh, what happened?
Public Enemy. I used to, when I was working at Sports Illustrated for Kids, so that was my last job before I did the author thing full time.
Right.
And I used to do flash animation for the website. So I used to build games and do these animated cartoons. And he was the keynote speaker at this this is before Adobe, Macromedia Flash convention, because he was into that. And I ended up talking to him. And then we would talk about maybe doing some kind of animation or stuff together, you know. And there were so many guys out there like trying to do stuff. And like throughout my life, I had like, it was always close but no cigar.